I'm just grateful to have her there. Here.
Okay. If not, Tyrone, would you call the roll, please?
Cogburn,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
The motion passes 3-0.
All right. And next on the agenda is A&P vacancies.
I make a motion that the A&P vacancy be filled with Officer Munn.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion amongst the commission or members of the public? If not, Tyrone, would you call the roll, please?
Cogburn,
Yes.
Varner,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes, which were sent out with our packet.
I make a motion that the minutes be approved.
I'll second that.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, Tyrone, would you call the roll, please?
Cogburn,
Yes.
Varner,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
Okay, next we'll have a presentation by the sales agency, and Drew, I'll turn it over to you,
Thank you.
I suppose, or Mike's here too, but I don't mean to slight you, Mike.
I'll hop in
No,
there.
I'm not slighted at all, Brandon.
So as we kind of hoped since our last meeting, we're starting to see some positive signs of, travel returning to the U.S. and to the region, which is great. We're seeing that, of course, with the increase in some hotel bookings. We're seeing that with airlines pulling planes from storage, and obviously seeing events returning. So that's all positive to see, which is why we are very optimistic about the timing of Texarkana's return with some paid advertising. You know that you've been, we pulled advertising last year as we should have. And so now we're making that return again to have kind of an increased presence with our target audience. There's kind of a revenge travel is something that you may have been reading, and that's beginning to happen. There's such a pent up demand for folks just want to get out and they want to go have weekends away. They want to use their vacation they haven't used. They want to take those day trips. They want to get back to those experiences, those dishes, everything that they have missed. And so, kind of being out there during this time period as that uptick in travel is beginning to happen is good, which is why we proposed kind of a return in mid-May that would be kind of a 2-flight strategy. You would start mid-May and you would run through the end of August, and then you would return for late September through December, early December, to where you're then not lost in all the advertising for holidays. So that is what we have proposed, and we've worked with Chairman Cogburn to go through that proposal. And so now at this point we've started the work on all the kind of the messaging, which we want to continue to position Texarkana as the prime destination that it is for both day and overnight travel, and then utilize its central location, in kind of the surrounding states for those prospects that are coming through. So by promoting the quality of the hotels, the diverse food scene, how pet friendly the community is, the availability of trails, green space, the ever-growing downtown, the entertainment district. All of that is just, you put that together and that's a great story to tell. And so we'll be doing that through a mix of tactics. We've talked about before, you don't want to, people consume media so many different ways now. People are going to be hitting the road again. So it's this idea that you would do it through, basically the research phase as they begin all the way to the end when they're on the road and heading to their destination. So we're going to be doing display advertising, social media, video, outdoor, co-op with the state tourism on some TV that they've offered up to help, the A&Ps in the state get in on inventory that they have at a real, at a reduced rate. So taking advantage of that. So between mid-May to December, as it stands, Texarkana is estimated, the A&P is estimated to serve over 6 million impressions to prospects. So you'll really have an opportunity to get those messages out there, which is great. And so over the course of the next week, we will be sharing some of those ideas with Chairman Cogburn and kind of working on getting all of that approved. And then we'll, start to execute that campaign in full. But that's good stuff. It'll be nice to be back. We've been fortunate again with how the social media, the organic post, and kind of the audience you've built there has really helped. I think been able to get your message out there where you haven't been doing any sort of paid advertising, but this will really be nice to be out there during this time. Video and photography, we talked about it in our last meeting, again, going back to kind of the importance of having that video and image library. Again, travel, people want to see it. The more that they can, be enticed to come to places, the better off we're going to be. So as they're researching that trip, be it weekend trips or if they're mapping stops along the way, having those visual resources and being able to tell those stories is so key. So starting in May, our plan is to do a video feature, video shoot, or photo shoot, roughly every 5 weeks. That will be able to then push that content to Krista, and she can work from a social media standpoint. We can do blogs on that stuff. It'll be good to have the new content on the website. And that'll be great because we've talked about, we know those videos are work. They definitely generate interest and shares, which is always good to see and always a goal. Our video team has been fully vaccinated and will of course always be mindful of safety precautions with businesses. We always try to be, keep any disruption, to a minimum. And we always work with those business owners ahead of time to make sure that we've got all those details worked out. And so far, everybody's really been great that we've been able to feature and work with. And so I think it's been a good experience for everybody. And of course, we really just want to be a good partner to all those hospitality industry partners and those folks that have done a great job of obviously working through a very, very tough time. So it'll be nice to see that homegrown series return. And again, we'll work with Chairman Cogburn on kind of what that list needs to be as far as the video features, photography. We'll get that working with him. And once that is approved, we will then proceed with getting that done. Kind of my last update before I turn things over to Krista, because she's going to kind of go through some of the social media specific, is Commissioner Brewer mentioned last meeting about maybe a way to help inform hospitality partners. So we've actually been working on kind of pulling that information and kind of putting a report together that could be sent electronically, or it could be PDF that could be printed out just off of office printer or whatever. Or if you choose to get done with a local printer there, that's great. But we've been pulling that together. And we'll be able to share that with Chairman Cogburn next week. and that will cover really the efforts that have been taken by the A&P to promote the city and its offerings, and then the work that's been done thus far, and then the results, including the impact to the HMR collection. So just trying to kind of give that overview that you had talked about. And so again, we all thought that was a good idea. So we're trying to, again, want to be a good partner on this. And so just trying to help educate and obviously, get that information out to whoever needs that, whoever wants that. So I think for me, I think that's it. And then again, Chris is about to get into some of the specifics regarding the social media, but are there any questions for me on what I've covered this afternoon?
Thank you for that follow-up and the response.
Sure. Okay. Krista, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thanks, Drew.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to give sort of an overview of what has been happening on our Texarkana social media since the last time we met. One of the big kind of milestones and a piece of good news that I wanted to share is that we passed 10,000 followers on Facebook. So the Facebook page has grown and has done so at a pretty quick rate. We've got 10,000 people, over 10,000 now, that are like, following and keeping up with all of our updates and stuff about the restaurants and events and that kind of thing. And I did do the math. I don't have the exact number, but I looked earlier at kind of where those followers are located, and they're all in, I mean, not all, but like about 3/4 of them were all in that Arklatex region, really. So, the Texarkana, Texas side, Arkansas, obviously, and then the cities surrounding the area. So all those kind of spaces that we wanted to make sure knew about the things that are going on in Texarkana, Arkansas. So that's just some good news there. And we're at almost the 5,000 mark on Instagram. So that one's growing as well. And I'm very excited for us to get started getting more photo and video content again, because that new photo and video content will really kind of help feed those pages, and that audience will love to see some new stuff and some new stories about some restaurants they may not have known about or heard about. So that will just kind of continue to keep our audience engaged and help it grow even more. Another piece of good news that happened last month in March, as you all know, this month there was the fair, and the last month we shared about the fair. We kind of had an announcement post on Facebook and Instagram, letting people know that it was happening once it was announced, and that it would be in April, which is switching it up from its normal routine. But it was that post that we announced it ended up being the top organic non-ad post of all time for our Texarkana. So it reached over 175,000 people. It got over 2,000 shares on Facebook, 500 comments, and a large majority of those comments were people tagging other people saying, let's go this night, or, when are we going to go? I'm so excited to do this ride, or whatever. So just lots of engagement, 849 reactions. And the Instagram post, though it didn't reach over 175,000 people like the Facebook one did, it also got 800 likes. So it also got a lot of engagement on Instagram as well. So just some good news to kind of kick it off. I think that just shows how powerful this next period is going to be for Texarkana now that big events like that are happening again. People are very excited about that and just very eager to be able to look forward to something like that. So just some good news there that you got great feedback on that. Another thing that we've been working on is really making sure that we are updating, a big thing that we get website traffic to the website from social media is using the blog. It's been a very popular resource for people to keep up with events and different things that are going on in the area. And so last year, obviously, we didn't have a whole lot of events to write about, but now we are starting our event posts back up. We're going to do a quarterly event post, or really seasonal events. So we've done one that's already been published for the spring events that are happening this month, next month, into a little bit into June. And then we are starting to work on one for the summer events that are happening. So those are always one of our most popular website things that get people to the website from social media. Just informing them like about, hey, they didn't know, this art show was going on, or this, the motorcycle rally is happening in May. So just something to keep an eye out on. And then the spring events blog post that we posted has already gotten over 600 link clicks to the website. So that's good. We also did a 4 States Fair blog post as well that got some traffic to the website. So another popular one. We kind of, like Drew mentioned, trying to position Texarkana as a pet-friendly travel stop or destination. We've written a blog post all about how it is a dog-friendly, pet-friendly city. So we talk about the dog park. We talk about the other parks. We talk about a good place for it being a good place for you to take your dog to have a nice backdrop for a photo, thinking about those younger people who are always posting their dogs on Instagram and that kind of thing. So we just really thought it would be beneficial to position Texarkana as a pet-friendly place. So whether people are just driving through and they need somewhere to get out of the car and stretch their legs, or if they need a place that they're going to spend the night and they know, now they'll know that Texarkana has pet-friendly places for you to stay. So that's kind of the mindset behind that blog post. And then I mentioned the summer events blog post we're working on. We're also working on putting together a blog post that just updates people on what's going on in the entertainment district downtown, so that people know things have changed since the last blog post we did announcing the entertainment district. There's new businesses that are part of it. And so just kind of updating all of that information so that people will know that our Texarkana website is like the up-to-date, relevant place to get that information whenever they're thinking about visiting. So that's kind of all for the blog content area that I wanted to go over. Other than that, we have really been working on keeping the Our Texarkana website up to date, because last year we updated it with the pandemic and everything going on. We wanted to make sure we added language that let people know restaurants adapted to, needing to do curbside service and takeout and delivery and that kind of thing, so that you could still enjoy everything you loved about Texarkana, but do it safely. And now things are kind of, easing back into that normal again. So we wanted to make sure, to keep some of that, we're serving you, our restaurants and our hotels are making all their efforts to keep serving you very safely. We wanted to make sure that language was still there, but we wanted to make sure that people had the understanding that the city is ready to welcome visitors back, and that it's very ready to have you come stay, and it's safe and it's a good place to come, eat out on a patio, or, whatever it is that might be on your agenda for the weekend. So that's kind of, we submitted and got some approved changes for the website that would kind of reflect that in the wording that's on there. And we're also refreshing the images that are on the website so that, we're changing things out so that when people come back and visit the website again, they see something new. They see a new park that they want to go explore, a new restaurant, a new dish that they want to go try. So just to let you guys know, we're working on making sure that website is up to date for this year. And then the last thing I wanted to go over was I've been working with someone at the state tourism office to make sure that the content about Texarkana on the state tourism website is all up to date as well. Because if people are searching on arkansas.com about where they should go for a weekend trip or whatever, and they look up Texarkana, we noticed that there was some outdated information, and in the copy on that main Texarkana page, there's some activities or attractions that may not be open anymore, that kind of thing. So that's been changed. We made sure that's all up to date and there's nothing there that people are going to click and find a dead link or anything like that. We updated the post office image. That's the main image for the city on their listing for you guys. So that looks a lot better. And we've gone and added, I mean, I've added dozens of new listings for places that weren't listed on there. And when I say listings, I just mean the restaurant listings that if you go to Texarkana on arkansas.com, you can look up all the restaurants there. And so we've gone in and added a bunch of restaurants that were not there yet. One of the ones that was there was Cattleman's. And so we just made sure to go in and add that they were some new copy reflecting that they were in the Arkansas Food Hall of Fame and that kind of thing so that people know and we also added some new photos for them too. So just to let you know, we're making sure that on all fronts, Texarkana is covered well and has relevant information out there so that if people are looking for a new destination in Arkansas, they're going to see the latest information and new photos and things like that reflect well on the city. So I think that's kind of my update in terms of social and the blog and website stuff. Anyone have any questions?
Yes, Krista, I have a brief question. You mentioned the tourism. Is our golf courses, are they on the list? The golf courses here in Texarkana?
That's a great question. Let me take a look. I've focused mainly on making sure all the food and stuff is up to date on the arkansas.com website, but that's a really good point. And I don't know that I have looked to make sure those are on there. But I will take a look and make sure that that the listings are there. And if they're not, I can always add them and make sure that we've got some, if they're there, that the photos and information is.
Thank you.
Oak Grove would be the only Arkansas.
Oak Grove.
Is that it? I can't remember. No golfers in my family. Well,
Texarkana Country Club is on the Arkansas side.
what am I thinking? Hello. I'm out of the loop. Duh.
Yes, TCC. Coda.
Okay.
Up downstairs.
That's great. That's a great point. I will double check and make sure those are all on there.
Yeah. TCC is sort of upper there, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Okay, Krista, thank you. And thank you, Drew, too. Mike, do you have anything that you want to add?
Just one small thing. I just, when we first were launching your social media channels 3 years ago, because unlike a lot of organizations, y'all did not have any social media properties until a little less than 3 years ago is when we launched them. And we talked about the importance of trying to build a sizable community of followers, because that allows us to promote restaurants and events on the Arkansas side with very little cost. And I just want to say that 3 years ago, I would have never imagined that we would already have more followers that we can talk to and get them to come eat and stay in Texarkana, Arkansas than the Texarkana, Arkansas School District, the Texarkana Chamber, Main Street Texarkana. I mean, just the audience that we have built, and Krista, I'm not going to say we, that Krista has built with the content coming from y'all's great community has really made marketing through social media a very, very viable and affordable option for us, faster than honestly I ever imagined. So that 30,000 foot context, I think, is important, just because the audience has grown. Over 10,000 is a significant milestone.
Mike, do you know where the 10,000 ranks compared to other cities in the state?
I did not do a complete list. I kind of look in the region. I know Visit El Dorado has got 5,000 Facebook followers. I know the last time I checked, and it was over a year ago, we were ahead of a lot of cities that have had a social media for their visitors bureau or their A&P for over a decade. off the top of my head, I think I remember Conway, North Little Rock, Rogers, some others, but that's off the top of my head. But let me put it this way: we rank way higher than we should, considering we're 3 years in. And that
Anything
is-
else, any other questions from the commission of any of the three? All right, if not, we'll go on to our next item, which is a budget amendment for the City Beautiful Commission. And I believe Jeff Brown is here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Am I supposed to talk now?
Yes. What are you asking us to do?
We are asking to have the money reallocated that we did not use last year. We redid a part of the gazebo at Bobby Ferguson Park, what we were able to afford with the money, that we didn't use all of it, but we did the part we intended to. We want to add, there are finials that are missing on it that, we can use that money for, or part of it, and then landscaping, replenishing the plants in the planters downtown, just other general things like that. It wouldn't be enough money for any major new project.
Great.
So
Go ahead, Sandy. I'm sorry.
well, in this sheet that Jeff included in our packet, the balance is that 1,200, 3,500, and 1,600. All of those are unspent, and you're asking us to reallocate that for you to be able to spend it in 2021.
Yes, those amounts are what Rachel gave me. So
Okay, well then I'm sure they're right.
I'm sure they're right. I'm not questioning them.
Yeah.
And Rachel or Tyronda, what the $1,600 that says unclaimed, what is that for? I get the gazebo and the flowers.
What it is, several years ago, and it's actually not related to A&P funds, but the City Beautiful had some unclaimed funds from the state of Arkansas that they still had available to spend. So we tracked those separately than the A&P funds. And for his A&P allocation, he has $4,713.94 that's available to spend, to be reallocated to 2021.
Okay, well, I will make the motion that those funds, that 471394, be reallocated to allow them to spend that in 2021.
Right. Is there a second?
A second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion amongst the commission? Members of the public? If not, Tyronda, will you call the roll, please?
Cogburn,
Yes.
Farner,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
The motion passes 4-0.
When does Officer Bond get to vote?
He actually will have to be approved by the board of directors. Mhm.
All right.
And
I was
once they
just-
get him approved, then he can vote.
Just checking on you there.
Jeff,
Leave him out.
Yeah, Jeff, are you still on?
Yes.
I was I'm downtown almost every day, but the planters and stuff are looking really good. Y'all keep it up.
Well, thank you. We just we're working on getting them redone. We had some help from A&M, and
Mhm.
Ina has been very instrumental helping also.
Yeah, well, it looks really pretty after the bad weather.
Okay.
It's good to see nice landscaping.
Yes. Well, thanks a lot.
All right, thank
Bye.
you, Jeff. Bye.
Are y'all through with me?
Yeah, you can leave if you want. Or you can
Okay.
stay, either
Well,
one.
Well, now I'm going to leave unless unless you want me to talk about something else. Unless you want to give me some more money, we'll take some more money so we can do some more stuff. But I'll
Back
save
to
that
fall.
for another.
Another day.
Okay. Thanks.
Right,
Bye.
thank you.
Bye.
Okay, next on the agenda is a request from the Texarkana, Arkansas Baseball Association. I am unsure who's here to present that.
That's me.
Okay. April?
Hey, guys. Yep, that's me. We're just asking to reallocate the interest that we did not claim from last year in the amount of $8,634.10 to help pay the interest that is still ongoing on the new building.
Is that the new concession stand at
At World Park.
south of in World Park? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I turned in some pictures.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
That looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that amount again? 8,000 and what?
634.
8,000. Yeah.
$8,634, I think.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, here,
And
we're still looking at pictures. I'm sorry.
That's okay. The interest it's averaging about $4,000 every quarter on that building, which is way more than what we have. We typically just charge $75 to play, and those fees go to cover umpires and expenses, and what the concessions bring in, we put right back into the park. So it would be nice to be able to reallocate those funds.
Okay, hearing that presentation, is there a motion?
Make a motion that we reallocate the funds for the baseball.
I'll second that.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion amongst the commission? Any comments from members of the public? If not, Tyrone, recall the roll, please.
Cogburn,
Yes.
Varner,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
The motion passes 4-0.
Up next on the agenda is a presentation from the 1894 trade days. And
Thank y'all.
oh, thank you. Let's see, is that Rhonda?
Yes, it was Rhonda, but she emailed me and said that Georgia Hubnick would be taking that over, and I did send out an email. I don't see her here, but I do know that there was a change in who's handling the 1894 trade days.
Yeah. How much are we talking about, Rachel?
It looks like it's just
We're
about
looking at $586.09.
Is that those flyers that were we paying for flyers that they were using?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I think so.
so can we make a motion to forward the reallocation of those funds, 586.09?
Yeah.
Motion?
Mhm.
Okay,
And you did.
okay.
Second motion.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Members of the public? If not, Tyrone,
Cogburn,
yes.
Varner,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
The motion passes 4-0.
Okay, up next is a new request for funding for 2021 for the Public Works Department. I believe Tyler is here.
I am.
I believe we need to jump over a procedural hurdle first. New request, not in at our regular October meeting. And we have not been allocating 2021 funds. So I think the first thing is you need to tell us why this should be heard at our April meeting. You didn't know about in October.
Okay, so these restrooms have been in the thought for about 3 years now, and we've just not been able to make that possible. Here within the last few months, we've seen the growth at Cross Ties downtown and as well as everything else. It has, and we've just learned this last month of the future plans that the acts that are coming into Texarkana this year and the years to follow as well. And this month, the obvious need for restrooms has just become evident. And you know, we have in the past attempted to go for funds elsewhere. We've been unsuccessful in that. And I guess it's been about a month or two ago, we had a distributor come in and they would like to help out. And they're actually going to cover the stage for us downtown on Front Street. That has been one limiting factor in bringing some acts to downtown. Nobody wants to perform out there on that outside stage. So we have got that commitment from them. So we're just trying to get everything in line right now. Considering those circumstances, I really hope that y'all would hear this out.
Okay. Is there a motion to hear this proposal?
I'll make the motion to hear it because I have a couple of questions I want to ask him about it.
I do too.
Okay, so I will make that motion that we entertain so we can ask him questions.
Second the motion.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion amongst the commission? Public? All right, I'm going to call the roll. Can't hear you.
Cogburn,
Yes.
Varner,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
Okay. Tyler, was there anything else that you wanted to add regarding the presentation before we ask questions?
Yeah, if you don't mind, let me just say something real quick. But first of all, I apologize for your lack of information in the packet. We have been scrambling, trying to get this thing together, knowing that y'all aren't meeting again until July. So I apologize for that up front. Also, there's a couple of ways that we could go about this. Originally, we were thinking this request coming from Public Works so that it is going to be on city property. They're at the corner of Wood Street and Front. And that is kind of behind and catty corner to the Cross Ties building right now. The city does own that corner property. We have talked about it today, and it might actually be better for us to work up a franchise agreement with Cross Ties, and they can actually take this project over, and they can build the restrooms actually cheaper than we can. You know, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of rules that I've got to follow with the city when doing a project that they could get out a little bit cheaper. For instance, contractor bonding, that's fairly expensive. You could probably shave about $50,000 off this project just by Cross Ties doing this project. So, which obviously a franchise agreement would have to be approved by the board. So that would be contingent upon the franchise agreement being approved. But I know there's not a cost estimate in there for you. And we do have plans now. And it's possible, let me see if I can, y'all might not be able to see this. I don't know.
Maybe by July we can meet person to person.
Yeah.
I anticipate our next meeting to be in person.
I actually had a copy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Person.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a large restroom section here in this center, which that is our original idea. Our dreams are to have a concession stand on each side of those restrooms as well. Now, this plan that we've got here, you're looking at about $500,000 for that building, most likely. I know that sounds like a lot, and we can trim some off of that. So with phase one, we'd really like to do the restrooms. I think we can get by with the restrooms with probably about 300, possibly even 250,000. But Les, you got something to add? I'll let Les run with
I'm kind of the rah-rah guy here, you know. For the last 20 years, I've seen Texarkana just dead. I drive to work every day to the bi-state and there's nothing going on downtown. We are trying to change that. Something we need help from is we need these bathrooms in a way that for our fall festival, we had over 8,000 people show up for that. That was our trick-or-treating thing. And we did not have a place to put these people to go to the bathroom because we didn't expect that kind of turnout. Since then, we're working on concerts. I've got so many concerts in the pipeline right now that's going to have 10 to 15,000 people on the lawn and in the street back there in front of the Festival Street Plaza stage. So we're going to have these bathrooms at some point because the porta potties ain't going to cut it with the amount of people that we're going to have out there. I want something nice, something that we can present to the public. That's something that Texas side doesn't have. All right. Texas side may have a lot of retail, but we are about to have an entertainment district that we can be really proud of. The direction that we're going with this is the bathrooms are going to be integral. The reason we talked about just the bathrooms and the concessions is because if we do this on a franchise agreement and we set up the concessions on each end of it and split the concessions in half, now you've got 4 vendors that can set up in there. If the city charges them $250 per event to set in there or $500 or more, you can make anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 off of it that would go right back into the city's funds. All right, that's renting out the end of those concession stands for the concerts, the festivals, and the other things that we're planning on doing outside. Right now, I don't know if you'll recognize some of these names I'm going to throw out, but right now I'm in the pipeline with Jamie Johnson, Cody Johnson, some of these other big name acts that we can put on that stage. The contingency's always been covering the stage. We're working on covering the stage. We get that. These promoters are going to let us rock and roll with these big time acts out there. And that's something that's going to change the game for downtown. The other thing is we do our stuff on Fridays and Saturday nights out there. Right now we have a temporary bathroom set up out there that we're maintaining, we're working. We'd like to get that out of the way. We'd like something nice or something that can be looked at and, you know, that matches what we're doing with downtown as far as the building and the structure. And as Tyler and I were talking about, we do the franchise agreement thing. I think us at Cross Ties can go through our contacts and build this way cheaper than the city can actually do it if he has to go through all the bonding and the other things with the bidding and that kind of things that he's going to have to do. If you've not been to Cross Ties, I invite you to come look through the whole building. A lot of what we've done inside that building, we have saved a lot of money because of our connections with friends and people that have donated time and help and our own efforts of being in there working every day. We can do the same thing with these bathrooms and get us something that's really, really nice. My idea for the bathrooms, if you saw the concession stand that they showed you from the baseball park a while ago, something similar to that is what we're looking at. It doesn't necessarily have to be the block stuff on the outside. We can cut that. What I would like to do is do some type of a stucco type design on the outside that makes it look old and looks like it matches downtown, but yet it's brand new on the inside. And it would look absolutely beautiful down there. I think this is something that's really important that would really change the game for what we're doing. When I was sitting here listening to the media guy people talk a while ago, I got really excited because I know what they're talking about with those numbers starting to change because we look at our social media. I was showing Tyler a while ago, some of our hits and some of our concerts and things, we've got 10,000 views. We got 15,000 views, 18,000 views. It's starting to pick up. It's upticking. People are starting to hear what we're doing here in Texarkana with the changes coming. Clay Walker's in concert next Friday night. After that, it's going to be something in there every month. And as soon as some of these people settle down with the COVID stuff, these acts, they're going to start signing on to 2 or 3 times a month. And then I'll have something for you down there every weekend. That's the goal we're headed for.
So what kind of questions do y'all have?
I have questions about maintenance and are they open to the city all the time or they would just be for events?
Nope. Well, we don't want them open every day, all day, because you don't want
Right.
just random people going in there. One of the things Cross Ties is willing to do with this franchise agreement is we'll take on the maintaining funds of this. In other words, we will pay to keep it maintained. We will clean it. We'll keep it stocked, and anything that needs to be done in there repair wise, we will take care of that ourselves as well.
Also, another thing that we could include in this project isn't a large expense. Out at Lakeside Pavilion at Bobby Ferguson Park, those restrooms are open at all times that park is open. Park shuts down at 11 o'clock. We've got mag locks on those doors and electronic door strikes where at 11 o'clock they automatically lock. So we would have something similar here, I would imagine.
Okay.
So you could use them during regular hours. They would be open every day.
Wouldn't be a problem. We have a staff that works full time down there now at Cross Ties. So Mr. Brewer or Ms. Washington or Ms. Henderson or somebody said, hey, we want to have a family reunion. We need to access those bathrooms. Not a problem. We'll get them opened up for them.
That's magnanimous of you all. If we can pull this off.
I think we can pull this off.
Yeah.
The thing that Tyler and I were talking about is we could do this in stages as well. We don't have to do it all at once. You know, if we could get the bathroom portion of it done as quickly as possible and then add the concessions later, come back to you guys in 2022 and say, hey, let's talk about those concessions now. That would be a home run right there.
So Tyler or Les, how would you feel about bringing us back some harder numbers and more specific plans, even if I have to call a special meeting to do that?
We would absolutely, yes, that would be perfectly fine.
So that you might not have to wait until July.
Right. See, that was our concern with getting on this meeting is if we're going to get this done this year, we can't wait till July. We got to get on it quickly. So yeah, I mean, if y'all wanted to schedule something for next week or whenever, yeah, we can have some good hard numbers for you. We'll have a plan in each one of your hands, whatever y'all need. That's not a problem.
My excitement on this and the reason we're making this kind of a push for you guys today is I probably brought this up to everybody at some point in time in conversations that I've been talking about. I've been pushing this downtown, pushing this other businesses to make this happen. There's so much right now in the pipeline that we are about to start announcing concerts and events and other things down the road. We're going to do our Christmas thing again this year. We're going to do the fall festival again this year. We're going to do a couple of festival things that we've got in mind and we're wanting to do. These bathrooms are going to make the difference. That's going to give these people a place where they have access to go to a nice, clean restroom. It's something we don't have right now. I can get porta potties down here, but I bet if I sit here and talk about it long enough, everybody's face will turn the same way when they think about going into a porta potty. I don't really want to do that either. And this is just going to be a game changer for us downtown, not just for us, but the other thing that we're doing that I haven't brought up and I meant to tell you all a while ago was I've already been talking to all the Arkansas side hotels. I've got a understanding with them that all of our events, we're going to create links to their hotels that go to all of our events when we're hosting things or we're putting things out there for ticket sales. So when somebody goes to buy a ticket to one of our concerts, one of our events, they automatically have links there announcing what hotels are on the Arkansas side that are available. We're doing the same thing with the restaurants. Ms. Varner, I have not had a chance to talk to you guys yet, but I'm going to talk to Zapata's, Pop's Place, Verona's, Hopkins Downtown, and anybody else that wants to get involved in this. And their links would also be set on our website. So when people go buy tickets and say, hey, I want to go to this concert, where can I eat? Bam, you got it right there in front of you. It's not talking about Texas Roadhouse or Silver Star, places like that. It's talking about these hometown restaurants that we've got right here in the downtown area within just a few minutes drive of where we're at.
And hey, we can build a nice little block monument sign out in front of this thing with y'all's nice logo right
I'll
there.
put all y'all's names on it.
Oh, look at you.
I'll pay for it.
A plaque on the building and everything.
You are so bad. So you're in the $250 to $3,000 range for the restrooms.
Correct.
Thinking.
Yeah. 250 to 300,000. Yes. And
300,000.
we can get some really close numbers for you.
Okay.
Those are my estimates based on my experience.
Okay. Is Josh still on here? Josh, are you still on?
I am.
Are you listening and taking notes to tell us whether we can or cannot do this or not?
Is this legal? Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
It'll give you a few days to check it out.
It's on city properties. That
Yeah,
that problem.
Yeah.
correct. That was the main issue is since it's a structure, you can't build a structure on privately owned property. You can't repair structures on privately owned property. That's why it's important that this is on city property. We've had requests previously that wanted, even though it might have been even in the entertainment district, it was on somebody else. It was on private property. You can't do that. So as far as I'm concerned with what I know right now, as long as it's on city owned property, you can do it. I mean, it's in the entertainment district and for, purposes of attracting tourism and entertainment. So it's
I have another question.
It's much like us building a bathroom and a concession stand at the park.
Exactly.
Hopefully, though, this one goes a little better or faster than the others.
Do we
Tyler, I have
money?
another question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is the and I've been trying to get in my head where this was, and I I'm pretty familiar with where. Is the infrastructure there to support this? Is there adequate sewer,
Every
electric?
bit of it. Yes,
All of
ma'am.
it is fine.
It's
It's not
That's
like
the
we're gonna
exciting
have to put in a sewer pump to get that out of there.
That's the
No.
exciting part about all of this is where this spot is located. It's literally within 5 to 10 feet of the water main, the sewer main, and the power main.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
And Tyler, when I looked it up on the map earlier today, so Wood Street is the one that, the little half street that's behind the railroad that does.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Is that the location where you're talking about behind that piece of railroad
It won't, so there's still
That's a
right of way.
sculpture, Brandon.
sculpture? That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
There's still right of way there. So we can't build it in the right of way. So it'll be
Okay.
over into the lot some. So, but yes, that's the vicinity. Yes.
Give me a little bit of footage there on the restroom part.
Okay, so you're
What
so
about what?
just the restroom part, you're looking at about 32 foot by 44 foot. Just the restroom part is about 1,450 square foot. Now with the concession stands added, you're looking at almost 3,000 square foot. But just the
Okay.
restrooms, about 32 by 44.
About half and
That's-
half.
That right, and that's about 20 stalls in the women's. I think there's, let's see, 5 stalls in the men's plus about 8 urinals, I believe. So there's plenty of restrooms there, plenty of stalls, anyways.
Well, it's just such a nice thing to have that type, like you said, instead of porta potties.
Yeah, and this, like I
If
said,
we
this
can
is
do it.
something. Yeah, this is something that not only Crossed Ice has approached us, but Mr. Peavy has approached me about this 3 years ago, and and we actually started looking for ways to do it at that point, looking for grants or anything, but we can't find any grants that are really applicable to this. So, we kind of ruled it out, but with the recent boom that's been downtown, we felt that it was a little more feasible to now come to y'all with this request.
Hey, Tyronda, are you there?
I am. Yes, ma'am. It
Okay,
takes a minute to get unmuted.
That's okay. Since we didn't allocate or do the grant request for 2021 funds, can you give us an idea of what is currently in the A&P fund that could be available? I'm not saying it would do all of it, but what could be available after all of our other commitments are done for the year? What's in there?
Okay, the budgeted ending fund balance is $349,000. We typically keep $250,000 in fund balance at the end of the year. So that will leave us right around $100,000 for 2021.
Okay.
That falls a little short, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
So you guys gonna bring us back some numbers within how long?
You tell us.
You pick a date, we're ready for you. If I had to get
Brandon
caught up on
and I
these
are, I'm not available on May 3rd or 4th.
I
Neither is
will be,
Brandon.
and I will be gone after May 6th. So
Oh,
preferably before. I mean, not for good, but.
So I guess we're looking at somewhere the 10th or after.
Or next week.
Or next week.
yeah.
So
I could have you ready next week if everybody's there.
Let's do that if we can.
I'm available as long as it's not on a Friday afternoon.
No.
Next Thursday afternoon?
Oh, I don't know. Now you want me to.
While I'm thinking about Thursday, we're having our ribbon cutting ceremony at Cross Ties next Thursday at 4 o'clock. If anybody wants to come.
Oh.
We're gonna have the entire building open.
Oh,
29.
That's Thursday, the 29th is ribbon cutting, okay? What
Is that
about Wednesday?
4:30 list?
Yes, look like I'm available Thursday as well.
Ulysses, are you available any of that week?
Yes, that Thursday will be.
Would y'all like a morning or afternoon meeting?
that Thursday, I have a mediation in the morning at 9 o'clock. So
Okay.
that's going to take up my whole morning.
So with the ribbon cutting being at 4 o'clock, would y'all maybe want to shoot for 2 o'clock on Thursday, the 29th?
That's fine with me.
Les, can you do that with that
Yes, ma'am.
afternoon
Do y'all want
festivity?
in person or Zoom?
Oh,
Person.
In person?
In person, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
me
Okay.
too.
April 29th, 2 p.m. And the only thing that will be on the agenda is the restrooms for downtown.
Yes.
All right.
All right, thank y'all for hearing us out.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all.
If y'all have any more
Good.
questions in the meantime, shoot them over to us and I'm prepared for whatever you have.
I think it's the coolest thing. It's the best idea. Because you always, wherever you need restrooms, you know, you can't walk around that long without needing a restroom. Of course, I'm old. But people have little kids too. Like Brody might need to go to the restroom. I don't know. Brody Munn.
Okay. Anything else on that topic?
Thanks, guys.
Ma'am.
Thank y'all.
I guess you're going anywhere, but next on the agenda is the ever increasing list of delinquent A&P taxes.
My favorite part of the meeting.
Ms. Varner?
It's been decreasing.
Oh,
Well, it depends on how you look at that, Josh.
As I look down at your squares right down here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, let me say my piece. I just, in about 15 minutes, when I got this list, I had previously requested, in addition to the delinquent list that we get every month, I had requested a list of the actual places that are paying. She thought, did you share that list with everybody, Tyronda, or was that just me or Rachel, whoever sent it to me?
No, ma'am, we sent it to just you.
Okay. And in looking at that in just a few minutes, I was able to identify about 10 off the top of my head that are not on either list. They're not paying and they're not delinquent. So it means they're off the radar. And I don't know if some of these are just, some of them are fairly new. And some are the ever popular issue of the food trucks.
If you will email me that list, we will follow up with them again and send them letters. We have also been in contact with our Public Works Department, and they're working on getting some more letters so we can get signatures from both departments stating that and we've done this before, but with the ransomware attack, it got rid of a lot of our files, but just stating once again, like we did before, that you've been in contact with Finance and Public Works and that you have received all of your documents and that you are aware of the A&P tax. So we've been working really hard to make sure that all businesses that's open are aware of that, and even the food trucks. Because I did
Okay.
have a lady from a food truck actually talk to me specifically about A&P taxes. actually talk to me specifically about A&P taxes.
Okay. I just don't want them to get so far down the road and them saying, well, I didn't know. And, I don't think the guy with the hot dog stand, I don't think he's out there with the cash register.
Well, he actually paid his.
Yeah. But some of these places are new, and I just don't want to get them so far behind and them say I didn't know, and it caused them to move somewhere else,
Right.
just because they can't get current. I don't want that to happen.
Yes,
I want
ma'am.
them to stay where they are, because I'm enjoying them. But anyway, that's my piece. I'll send that to you.
Okay, and we'll work on that.
Josh, anything you want to add?
Since the last meeting, we've had, I think, 2 or 3 become current. And I think they're on this new list. They're on there and they just say they paid their delinquent taxes and they're current. Since that time, I've had 3 that have made promises to pay and should pay within the next 2 weeks and become current. Now that's on the restaurants. As far as the hotels, there are 4 listed. I'm looking at the December 2nd, 2020. I'm not looking at the.
There's still just 4 on the hotel.
Okay. But
They're the same 4.
See, the last one, as opposed to, I think the last list we got was in December because of the IT issues with the cities. The last one has paid up until a certain point, and now 1 month is delinquent. The first one is paying. They'll get delinquent a little bit, and then they'll get caught up. One, I believe, and it's hard sometimes because these businesses change hands as well, and restaurants close or they move. One moved to the Texas side, so collections are ongoing. But like I said, 3 of the restaurants have made, I'll say, promises to pay and become current within the next 2 weeks. I also have some information on, information on being able to release names of those who have not paid. I'm not going to do that right now, but I've been researching, and there's a new Attorney General opinion that basically says that those you can't release amounts of those who have paid, and I guess the background of that is you don't want people to know how much you're making and competitive advantage and all that. But I think she opined that there is shouldn't be any confidentiality in what you don't pay. And so you can still leave the amount, but now you can release the name of someone who doesn't, because it violates statute. So I know Sandy, Commissioner Varner, is interested in that, and I will forward that along to Tyranda or Rachel, so you guys can forward it to the commissioners.
Okay. And Josh, you do have the list from April the 1st, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've got that. But now we will be getting those monthly again.
Yes.
Okay.
But it does look a lot better than it did. It really does.
Hey, Cindy, I have a question. Does the businesses that are delinquent, do they receive advertisement?
No.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Do they get advertisement?
Oh, no. not from us.
That was set up by the commission. They wanted to ensure that that didn't happen when we signed on with the sales agency.
All right, thank you.
And I talked to the sales agent. I checked there to verify that that's not happening.
All right.
And again, it's not that they're not, it's not the paying, it's the remitting that we're really focused on. They are collecting, not turning it over. Is there anything else on delinquent taxes?
I don't have anything.
Okay, or any other business? If not, I would entertain a motion.
To adjourn, I will make that.
Second that motion.
Tyrone?
Cogburn,
Yes.
Varner,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
All right, the meeting is adjourned.
And see everybody Thursday at 2:00.
Yes,
See you Thursday at 2.
2.